Aisle. House Minority Whip Steny Hoyer joins us, and I'm still going to call you leader. We do that with Army still, Leader Hoyer. So I mean, you can't call someone you can't call someone a whip, and we know leaders lead. Welcome and thanks for joining us. Just what was your take on what was proposed last night? I guess there was a lot for you to like.
Well, I think there was a lot for America to like, frankly. It was a serious speech, obviously delivered in a chamber that had been chastened by the tragedy in Arizona, but also impelled to sit together. I thought the atmospherics were much better for this speech. It wasn't so much a rah-rah speech as it was a serious challenge to America and to the Congress to respond to the challenges that confront us and to grow our economy. We have an agenda that we call Make It in America. Which means that simply we need to do better in manufacturing, we need to do better in succeeding and growing and exporting, and that America can do that. He spoke to a serious problem of the deficit that confronts us, asked all of us to join in meeting that challenge and bringing the deficit under control so we could, in fact, grow the economy. So I thought that the tone of the speech was excellent. I thought the challenge he gave to all of us, to all Americans and to the Congress, to come together, to work together, that it wasn't enough just to sit together, but we had to work together if we were going to make progress and have success. So from that perspective, I thought it was a speech that addressed the challenges and set forth, not in specific terms, but set forth a direction that we needed to move to be competitive worldwide so that we could provide the kinds of jobs and opportunities that our people need.
I guess it's simplistic to just break down the two sides. One side wants to invest more, spend more. The other side wants to stop spending and actually start cutting. Now, after the election, the 63 seats, and the reason that you're minority whip at this point, could you see how the other side would think that too much time was spent with what we did over the last 2 years and what maybe was in some ways responsible for the losses that your party suffered, but talking about spending for most of the speech?
I can't imagine that they were surprised by the fact that a president who put forth an agenda at a time when the economy was tanking, he inherited the worst economy that we've seen in over 60 years since the Roosevelt administration. I don't think they were surprised that he said, look, we addressed those issues. We stabilized the economy. We stabilized the financial community, building on what President Bush had done in the last quarter of his own administration. We created 1 million jobs last year, over 1 million jobs last year. We see the corporate sector having large reserves on hand, so that I think it was not surprising that he talked also about health care and bringing the costs down and expanding access and affordability for all of our citizens. I think we felt those were positive accomplishments. But then also talked about the future, about tax reform, about bringing corporate rates down so we could be more competitive. I think there was a positive response to that from both sides of the aisle.
But what are the chances?
Or at least from Republicans and Democrats throughout the House.
Yeah. What are the chances, Leader Hoyer, in the way that the House is, the makeup of the House right now? Most people would say it's unlikely that you're going to, ever be able to get a lot of that stuff through the House. But there was a chance, probably, to work together on Simpson Bowles, and there was hope a couple of months ago that when that came out, this is the president's moment to embrace that, and you get cooperation from the other side of the aisle and make real progress. Probably most of the spending at this point, those ideas for investment are not going to happen. They're not feasible. Why not seize the moment for what you can do with Simpson Bowles and lead as the president?
I think we ought to seize the moment, and the president did, in fact, mention Simpson Bowles and by reference Rivlin Domenici. Two commission reports that said, look, we've got a big deficit problem. Here are some of the ways we can solve it. And the president said he thought they were very good ideas. And while he didn't agree with every one, he believed that we ought to pursue meeting the deficit crisis with those reports in mind. And I'm hopeful that we will do that. I think that you talk about investment, and I know some of my Republican friends use investment as a synonym for spending. However, my Republican colleagues believe in investment. They believe in investment to grow businesses, to grow jobs, to grow the economy. Now, they believe in investing that in the private sector. I share that view, but I also believe that the private sector has got to have a partner in terms of some of the things that the president talked about, and that is we need a well-educated workforce. That is largely a public effort. We need an infrastructure, a transportation system which enhances the flow of goods, the flow of commerce. We need to invest in making sure that we're connected. He pointed out that the people in South Korea have more connection on the internet than we do in the United States of America that invented the internet. So I think when I talk to my Republican friends, they understand that you need to invest in order to profit. They want to invest in the private sector, but we've also got to invest in our country's ability to compete with countries around the world who are investing themselves. So I'm hopeful that we can, in fact, reach consensus, reach common ground on some of these issues to move forward, particularly, I think, with respect to addressing the deficit, bringing meaningful tax reform to this country, which I think every American thinks we need, and to growing our economy.
Leader Hoyer, thank you. Thanks for your time today. We appreciate it very much. House Minority Whip, we know that. I'll probably get some mail, but at least for me, I'm going to continue to. I like
Leader
saying
works
leader.
for me.
Leader, yes. You're not going to say no.
Always work.
Please don't. Yeah. How's Leader
Thanks a
Kernan's
lot.
acting? Yeah, you're welcome. Good to see you. Thank
We
you.
start saying